Turo just reversed the pricing change. They didn't soften it, they didn't clarify it, they reversed part of it and admitted that they should have told the community and the hosts before they flipped the switch. I've been in this business long enough to build a fleet past 60 cars doing over $150,000 a month in gross revenue, mostly on consignment, and in all that time, I've never seen Turo walk something back like this ever before. The obvious read on this might feel like hosts won, right? You push back hard enough and the platform is gonna fold. That is the wrong read. And if you take that lesson into 2026, it's going to cost you. I'm gonna show you exactly what they changed, what they quietly kept, and the one thing that this email proves about your business that most hosts are gonna completely miss. So here is exactly what they said. I'm gonna read you the email word for word, just in case you didn't receive it, because for some reason I found out with Turo, a lot of hosts, including myself, sometimes don't receive very, very important updates such as this one. So I'm gonna read it word for word here on my phone. Last week, we updated the pricing range for advanced bookings on select standard vehicles. We heard from many hosts that you wanted more context before the change took effect. Many of you discovered the update while managing your pricing, and some of you found out that you could no longer edit previously set custom prices to the ranges that you had them before. We understand why that was frustrating. We should have communicated more clearly upfront. This change to the pricing range remains in place to help eligible vehicles receive more advanced bookings. At the same time, we heard your concerns about pricing flexibility. Based on that feedback, we've made 2 updates. So what's changed? Your advanced booking price range has increased. For trips booked more than 14 days in advance, eligible vehicles can now be priced up to 30% above dynamic pricing recommendations. That's 1.3x up from 15%. You can edit previously set custom prices again. So if you had custom prices in place before this change launched, you can now edit those prices again with the same flexibility you had before this change. Why this pricing range exists. Vehicles priced closer to the dynamic pricing recommendations are more likely to get booked earlier. When vehicles are priced significantly above the recommendation, advanced booking utilization declines steadily, and that gap typically does not close as the trip date gets closer. In addition to the improved utilization over time, longer lead time bookings have also been associated with a more predictable trip experience with fewer incidents than last minute bookings. Which vehicles does this apply to? The pricing range applies only to standard vehicles, model year 2016 or newer, for hosts in Atlanta, Austin, Charlotte, Houston, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Raleigh, Salt Lake City, Tampa, and Toronto. On a quick side note, I find it funny that they mention these cities because I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is 2 hours from Raleigh, but I'm affected by this change, and they didn't mention that in this email. Now, deluxe and super deluxe vehicles are not affected by this at all. How dynamic pricing works: dynamic pricing uses vehicle details, market conditions, booking patterns, and seasonality to recommend prices for your vehicle. We're continuously investing in improving dynamic pricing so recommendations better reflect current market conditions and vehicle performance. Hosts who price closer to the recommendations tend to see the strongest, most consistent booking performance. You can also review recommendations and set custom pricing based on what works best for your vehicle. If a recommendation doesn't look right, submit your feedback here and our team will review it, and then there's a button to review pricing. So that is the email word for word that they sent out to myself and I don't know how many other hosts. Now, I actually did submit feedback. There was a way to submit feedback for this, and I saw it in a group that I'm in. And so a bunch of us hosts went through and we submitted very, very aggressive feedback to this change, and apparently got Turo's attention. So the cap on advanced bookings is still in place. It did not go away. They said it stays, right? What moved was the ceilings. So trips booked more than 14 days out in advance can now be priced up to 30% above the recommended dynamic pricing, which is up from the previous 15%, which is a really, really small margin. So if you had custom prices set before then, and this is what I do. So far out in the future, I have all my vehicles priced out at a higher price. That way, if someone does a monthly booking I have this whole pricing strategy. I'm not gonna get too into this video, but what you need to understand is that all my bookings for the future were priced really, really high. And all those vehicles that I was able to price that way before, I can still adjust to any price that I please. So I do appreciate that Turo did that, but since this change has come out, I have added 2 more vehicles to the fleet and on Turo, and for those, I can only adjust the future pricing within that 30% margin above the recommended dynamic pricing. So all in all, that's it. That's the reversal that they did. A number changed and a lot got removed. But the part that nobody's reading is the scope of this only applies to standard vehicles, model year 2016 or newer, and supposedly only in these markets, even though I'm in a different market, and it seems to have affected myself as well. So it's another possible inaccuracy that Turo is putting out there. That means if you have grandfathered in vehicles, they may not have adjusted your cap pricing. I don't have vehicles that are older than this, so I couldn't tell you exactly which cars this affected if they were grandfathered in. Again, you shouldn't look at this at face value because there's a lot more behind the scenes that you need to think about, and this was a test. Right? There's 10 markets, 1 vehicle class. That's not a policy, that's a literal pilot. So if you're not in one of those 10 cities right now, you're thinking this is not gonna apply to you, Give me 2 minutes because there's a reason that they pick those markets and it's not random. Real quick, and don't click it yet. Finish the video first because the back half is where I break down why they picked those 10 markets. But the second link in my description is a free A to Z course where I walk through how to build a rental infrastructure that you actually own with private bookings, direct leads, the whole setup. It's gonna cost you nothing. It's a free video. It's there when you're done with this one, but let's go ahead and get back into the topic that we're discussing right now. Now, why did they pick those 10 volume markets? Because there's high supply, high competition, and it's metros where the algorithm has the most data and hosts have the least leverage. Their own reasoning in the emails is vehicle priced closer to the recommendation get booked earlier, and when you price well above it, advanced booking utilization drops and doesn't recover as the date approaches. Now, they're not entirely wrong about the data because early bookings do tend to be more predictable trips, but they're more predictable trips for who exactly? Because utilization is Turo's metric. Your metric is profit per car per month, and those are not the same numbers, and they were never going to be the same numbers because you are essentially operating two different businesses. You're operating what you think is your business and Turo's operating what is their business. What does this email actually admit? They can change your pricing ceiling. They can lock your existing custom prices. They can roll it out without telling anybody first, which they did. They can pick which cars and which cities, and the reversal doesn't remove any of that. It proves all of it. So all the uproar that was made about this change didn't win you pricing control. It won you just a slightly bigger cage than what you were in just a couple of weeks ago. What changes for you tomorrow if you're in one of the 10 markets on a standard car? Go check your prices right now. The 1.3x ceiling is real and you should be using the room you just got back. Then the real thing you wanna look at is what percentage of revenue came from Turo for your own car rental business. Now, if it's 100%, you don't own that business, Turo owns that business. For me personally, especially in the past, about 80 to 85% of my rentals are private rentals. And so I'm really not relying on any of these changes that Turo makes. So the hosts who barely felt this were the ones that have private rental channels that are already running. So this is the natural handoff. You just proven that the platform can move the floor under you at any time. So here's where I'm gonna leave it. Turo blinked, that's real, and it's the first time that I've seen it, but what they gave back was just a small percentage. They did not give you back control, and the cap at the end of the day is still there. The lock is possible, and it's possible at any time. So next time that they change something, you'll find out the same way that you found out about this one, and that's probably by opening the app and noticing that everything that you've known up to date has completely changed, because when we're talking about pricing, pricing is everything in this industry. Every host I've worked with who scaled past the point where platform changes were scary did the same thing. They stopped treating Turo as the business and they started treating it as one channel. One of the people in my program, Mac, did it going from 2 cars to 5 with private infrastructure and organic leads coming through Google Business Profile. Mauricio did it running around with 15 cars and moving into gig worker rentals and private rentals. Lucas also did it after a Turo slowdown, and now he's converting Turo customers into private rentals directly, as well as getting his own leads from Google Business Profile and some other organic customer acquisition strategies that we went over. He actually just sent me a message yesterday that his whole fleet was booked out completely. He now has to ride his scooter, and the best part, most of those rentals are indeed private rentals. None of them are waiting on an email from San Francisco to find out what their prices can be. So if you want me to build this out with you, the first link in the description is a strategy call. It's a 90-day program, one-on-one, me and you working together in your market and your fleet specifically. Spots are very limited because of how I structure this program. Either way, stop building on rented land, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.